Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hindu Center of Atlanta's weekly spiritual learning. Today, we are joined with Acharya Brahmadevji. Brahmadevji is delivering a lecture on a series Practical Application of Yoga in Daily Life. He has already covered Yam, Niyam, and Asan in our previous sessions. Today, Acharya will be explaining about the pranayam. Acharya Brahmadevji has an inclusive educational background in science banking from University of Mauritius Management, ABE UK, and Darshanacharya Vedic Philosophy, Darshan Yog Mahavidyalaya, Gujarat. He has a diverse career in financial services industry at Arya Sabha Mauritius. He has been a key resource person for Arya Sabha Mauritius on a universal Vedic values, yoga and meditation, and on interfaith and intercultural dialogue at various national and international forums. The Mauritius Council of Religions, Arya Sabha America, Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple, and Hindu Center of Atlanta Yoga and Meditation Center in Kami. He is author of numerous insightful articles on Vedic philosophy and contemporary issues in English and French. Over to Acharya.
Namaste, everybody. Let's sit down straight with the spine, that is the back, the neck, and the head in one vertical line. Body totally relaxed from head to toe, and feel the relaxation of the body starting from the sole, the heels, the muscles of the legs, the knees, the thighs, the hips, the abdomen, the lumbar back region, the thorax and the upper back region, the shoulders, the arms, elbows, wrist and fingertips. Relax the neck, the facial muscles with a gentle smile, and the head. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhaling, the first is inflate the belly, then the lungs, and then lift the shoulders slightly up. And the exhale process is pulling the shoulders down, deflating the lungs, and also contracting the belly inside, creating more and more pressure on the diaphragm, and slow, long inhale and exhale like that. Now while exhaling, we'll be chanting Om and Gayatri Mantra. While chanting Gayatri Mantra, bring our focus to our own pronunciation. Listen to the sound waves of our own pronunciation and catch the vibrations of our own pronunciation, internalizing the sound waves and the vibrations. Feel the inner peace silencing the mental activities and the emotional activities. That's the start of basic meditation. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Now join the palms together, rub them gently, cover the eyes and transfer the energy to the eyes and the facial muscles, opening the eyes gently, slowly below the palms. Welcome again, everybody, to the session on the practical applications of yoga from the Hindu Center of Atlanta. We had covered the yama and niyama, the precepts of the do's, the don'ts and the do's, or the precepts of social and personal discipline. Essential for our physical and mental makeup to be able to move ahead. Then we also covered asana and the bundle of exercises we do in Hatha Yoga as Yogasana is very good for health. But in yoga philosophy towards meditation, Maharishi Patanjali says, Sthira Sukham Asanam, one posture on which we can sit down, be comfortable for a long time, and there we can do meditation. Otherwise, just turning the body around, we can't meditate. We can be focused on the posture, but we can't meditate because the body is in action. So, Sthir Sukham Asanam. We'll look at pranayama, which is the fourth limb of yoga. All the pranayama that we know, generally done by practitioners of physical yoga, is very good health-wise because it teaches us to regulate our breath. And remember, breath is the vital life force which is considered to be more crucial than even food intake in maintenance of good health. So let's look at what Maharishi Patanjali teaches in terms of pranayama. Generally, the most common pranayama we know is Anulom Vilom, Kapalbhati, Bhastrika, and Brahmari pranayama. As I said, they are very good. It gives a very good footing health-wise, burning up the toxins of the body and bringing us to a level where our stress levels are low, more oxygen in the body. But Maharishi Patanjali in the yoga philosophy says, Tasmin sati shwas prashwas yorgati vicheda pranayama. Tasmin, in the posture we are sitting, sati, being present with that posture. And being present with that posture is what is generally called mindfulness. Being present in the state we are. We may be lying down, we may be sitting down on a chair, we may be sitting in Padmasana or Sukhasana, no problem. But then we need to be aware of where we are, in which posture we are, and shift the awareness gradually to the inhale and exhale process. That is what is Shwas Prashwas. Then Gati Vicheda Pranayama. So there is the movement of the inhale and exhale, breaking that movement at a certain point in time, for a certain time, that is pranayama. In that stable posture, which we've adopted in asana, now interrupting the inhale and exhale process at some point in time, and for the amount of time for which we are free from incumbents, no feeling of undue stress on our breath and our brain, our body. That is pranayama. It is total breath control. Then the 4 types of pranayama. It says bahya bhyantar stam vritti sakal samkhyabhi paridrishto dirgha sukshma. Bahya, external, abhyantara, internal, stam vritti, the arrested movement, desh, place, kal, time, sankhya, number, paridrishta is known, dirgha, long, sukshma, subtle. So wherever we are interrupting the breath, it has to be a subtle process, not forced on our body. And gradually, slowly, we increase the time where we are retaining the breath. Bahya, external, abhyantara, internal, stamvriti is the sudden arrested movement which can come even while exhaling or inhaling. So when we observe these ways of doing the pranayama, so if you've not had heavy dinner, or it's already say past the 1.5 hours after dinner or last meal, let's try it. Otherwise, if you have had your dinner, just try it for a very short time, say probably 10-15 seconds. We'll do Bahya Pranayam. Sit down straight with the body relaxed, especially the shoulders and the facial muscles and the neck. This is where we keep our stress. With a gentle smile on the face. Now empty the lungs with a free fall process, pulling the shoulders down, deflating the lungs and pulling the belly inside, and inhale by first inflating the belly, then the thorax, and pulling the shoulders slightly up. Feel the breath moving all around the body, and the inhale and exhale process 2-3 times. Now inhale deeply, slowly, and it's fast, rapid exhale and maintaining the breath outside. As I said, try it first for probably 10-15 seconds. Rapid exhale. then gradual inhale, normal inhale. We do a second round. Inhale. 2-3 times. Inhale and exhale. Again, long, deep inhale and rapid exhale. Slow, deep inhale and exhale. So this is Bahya Pranayama, retaining the breath outside. This is the first one to start practice the interruption of the breathing process, because it's easier to retain the breath outside, and when you start feeling incumbents, that is some nervousness, then gradually, slowly you start inhaling, and that is pranayam, slowly, gradually expanding the time when we are retaining the breath outside. Safely, gradually, with daily practice, twice daily, retaining this 3 times during one cycle, not more. And then gradually increasing the number of times also. So gradually we are increasing the time period we are retaining the breath, and also the time lapse when we are retaining the breath increases. So it's gradual, slow, like this. We can probably increase the rounds, that is retaining the breath outside, increase it once weekly, and at the end of 21 weeks, we reach the full cycle of 21. It's not recommended to go beyond 21 cycles of retaining the breath outside for as long as we can, because it can cause physical harm on the brain, because the brain uses oxygen. Retaining the breath outside, what does it do? It relieves, because the body will still need oxygen. And the body needs oxygen, and when we have retained the breath outside, the body itself, the lungs being a pump, it sucks whatever air blockages is located at various parts of the body, especially at the joints and the tendons, which the ligaments and the tendons of the muscles. And when it sucks the air pockets from there, that relieves us from blockages. And these are the blockages that cause physical pain. And the blockages at the level of the facial muscles and the head muscles, this is what gives us migraine and severe headaches. So that is the process of Bahya Pranayam, retaining the breath outside. Just remember, it's a process to be done gradually, slowly, retaining the breath outside for as long as we can. And when we start feeling discomfort, we start feeling the strain that we've retained the breath is our limit, then we start inhaling. There have been cases where people have gone beyond the recommended number of rounds, 21. And then the brain starts getting deficiency in oxygen, so that may cause harm. That's why we practitioners of Bahya, Abhyantar and Stambriti Pranayam recommend that we don't go more than 21 times, even for advanced practitioners of that. We can probably, instead of doing only 2 cycles per day, we can move to 3 or 4 cycles, but then keep a gap of probably 3 hours, 4 hours in between. Then the other one is Abhyantara Pranayam. That also we'll try it, but we'll take into consideration time factor, and probably you've already had dinner. We'll just retain the breath inside for 15-20 seconds. So just sit down again in the correct posture with the spine straight, the body relaxed, a gentle smile on the face. Exhale, pulling the shoulders down, deflating the lungs, and pulling the belly inside, then deflating the belly, decompressing the belly, then inflating the lungs and pulling the shoulders slightly up. Feel the breath moving all around the body 2-3 times like this. Now deep inhale, and after inhaling, filling the lungs to the maximum, just retain the breath inside. Exhale slowly, gradually, normal inhale and exhale. Now deep inhale, and after filling the lungs completely, retain the breath inside. And exhale slowly, gently. Now inhale and retain the breath inside 15-20 seconds. Exhale slowly, gently. This one, when we retain the breath outside, it does the reverse of what I was explaining on Bahya Pranayam. Bahya Pranayam, when we retain the breath outside, it releases the blockages, because the body now looks for oxygen at the blockages, at the air pockets within the body. So when it does that, it also sucks out whatever toxins has accumulated in the various parts. And then when we do Anulom Vilom Kapalbhati, that is burning out of these toxins, throwing them out. And when we do Abhyantar Pranayam, it's we've inflated the lungs to the maximum. And that creates pressure now on the bloodstream. And then it sends the blood through our vital life forces energy. Prana, Pan, Vyan, Udan, Saman. It sends all of the oxygen through the whole body and reaching also the extremities of the body, like the fingertips, the tips of the toes, the sole, and the palms, the tips of the body, tip of the nose, tip of the ears, etc. So that nourishes the whole body. Bahya and Abhyantar Pranayam, both of them combined, regulates our body, stabilizes our bodily functions inside, and combined with the other pranayam, which generally, I will take one example with no publicity for him. Baba Ramdev has been very adamant about Anulom Vilom, Kapalbhati, Bhastika, and Brahmari Pranayam, and the others. Combine with them, that will give us the value addition of getting oxygen to all parts of the body and removing the blockages. And when we are now free from physical pain and stress, we can move to the next step of dharana, getting the focus. Sambriti Pranayam, the third one, is about retaining the breath wherever it is, whether we're inhaling or exhaling. And this probably we've been practicing it without mindfulness, without paying attention to that. Like we are walking or we are driving, somewhere there's a bad smell which comes, we just stop breathing there. If it's exhale, we stop exhaling. If it's inhale, we stop inhaling. That is Tamvriti Pranayam. सांस जहां पर चल रहा है वहीं पे रोक लिया. And that we've been doing under adverse circumstances, but without knowing that this is also one pranayam. And the fourth one is Bahya Abhyantar Samvriti. So while we are exhaling, knowingly, we stop exhaling, we take some breath again, and then we exhale completely again. So it's just putting a break and doing the reverse process slightly and then exhale. That also activates the body parts, the muscles, etc. Relieves much of our stress, mental stress, physical stress, keeps the body parts, muscles, ligaments, tendons, all totally relaxed. And then removing the air blockages will be moving to more stable health. And when we sit down on the Sthira Sukhamasana, we'll be able to also expand our time of sitting down in one posture for a long time. So it also goes into the first sutras which I was explaining, Sato Dir Kale Nairantara Satkara Savito Dir Bhumi. Whatever practice we are doing, we do it for a long time, constantly, regularly, with lots of love, passion, and dedication. So when we do this pranayam, we'll feel our stress relieved, we'll feel our body physically, mentally more healthy. That incremental feeling of physical and mental well-being will keep us now to go back and do the practice regularly over a long time, long and longer time, and will be more dedicated. We'll be having lots of passion in what we are doing. So it's complementary on how the parts are interlinked. It's as a puzzle, interlinked and complementary also. So these are to be practiced on your own, but just remember, don't go beyond your capacity. In case you have high blood pressure, then it's advisable to do to about to half, maximum half, between 1/4 and half of your capacity of retaining the breath outside or inside, because I explained it creates pressure on your blood flow. So if the person is having high blood pressure, then he has to be careful. And if he does that for about 1/4 to half of the capacity, that slowly, gradually will also bring down the blood pressure problem. And when that is stable, then can go on further practice. So that's the physical and mental benefits. And then when we are going to practice yam niyam in our daily life, when our body is healthy, when our mind is healthy, then we can walk the way easily on the other limbs of yoga. So this is the interconnectedness of the 8 limbs of yoga. I just wish you can do the practice over the next week till we have the next session, and hope to have your feedback on the practice. Practice only Bahiya Pranayam for 1 week, retaining of the breath outside, and gradually, daily, probably add a few seconds to your practice of retaining the breath, and do only free rounds. And you can do probably free rounds twice daily, or if you want to do free rounds, keep a gap of 2-3 hours, and then you can take another round. So wish you lots of love and passion in your practice, and steady progress on that for physical, mental well-being, a holistic approach to wellness. So that's all for today. If anybody has any feedback or any question, please unmute yourself and I'll deal with that to the best of my abilities.
Bhramari, you said you will explain next week, sir.
Now I'll explain Stamvriti and the Bahya Bhyantara Stamvriti the next two, because today I explained the Bahya Abhyantara, then the 4 other pranayams. Then probably we can do some practice of also what Baba Ramdev and the others are teaching, Anulom Vilom and Kapalbhati and the others. But remember, that is to be done. Anulom Vilom you can do even after meals, no problem, because it doesn't create the pressure. It's only synchronizing the breath. But Kapalbhati and Brahmari others, we have to do with empty stomach. But then you can just do slight practice, and then so that it doesn't harm you.
Okay. Thank you, Acharya. Thank you everyone for joining today, and we will meet again next week.
Thanks for your attention. Namaste.